Jen, Alicia, are you present? Yeah, I think we have the quorum. We can start our class. So today, oh, that's Jen. So let's mute and start our class. So today we are going to study about waste management, and under waste management, some of the objectives that we are expected at the end of the session are by the end of the lesson, a learner should be able to, one, identify various categories of solid waste, and the second one is to explain the key component of solid waste management. Yeah, maybe if I can ask the class, what do you understand by the word solid waste? Any response?
I can try.
Yes. Agrivina, continue.
They unwanted materials.
Yes.
Yeah, the unwanted materials are produced by human activities.
Correct. Unwanted materials or useless material that are generated from human activities, be it in residential or industrial or commercial areas. Then what about solid waste management? Solid waste management is the process or the activities associated with collecting, treatment, disposal of solid material that is discarded because it has served its purpose or it is no longer useful. Yeah, that's the definition of solid waste management. Then what about sources of solid waste? Sources of solid waste. Where can solid waste be generated from?
Domestic.
Yes, we have domestic, from domestic. Also we have industrial. Industries can generate waste. Yes. Agricultural can also generate solid waste.
Commercial.
Then commercial. Thank you. Then we shall now focus on the fundamental element of solid waste management system. The hierarchy of how solid waste can be managed. So the first step is always generation. From the generation stage, where at this point solid are being generated at the source. Then we go to onset, handling and storage. The third stage is collection. Then we have processing and resource. You have transfer and transport. Then the final step is disposal. We shall look at each step in detail. And the first one is generation. And as I've said, generation is where solid waste are produced at the source. It can be at our homes, or it can be in industries, or in agriculture, producing farms. So generation has two aspects. One aspect is the quality of solid waste, and the other is the quantity of solid waste. The handling And storage of solid waste at the source before they are collected is a critical step in management of residential solid waste. So it is important to know how you the first step of generation of solid waste. As we move to the second step, which is solid waste handling, waste handling involves handling it refers to handling activities associated with managing solid waste until they are placed in the containers used for their storage before collection or return to drop-off or recycling centers. The specific activities associated with handling waste material at the source generation will vary depending on the type of waste material that are separated. Depending on the type of collection service, handling may also be required to move the loaded containers to the collection point. In general, handling of waste is depending on the nature of your waste. You can decide to handle your waste different from other wastes. Let's now focus on waste storage. And under waste storage, the first phase to manage solid waste is at home. I know we all come from our homes and we've interacted with waste. So the first step of when you have your waste in your home, the first thing you need to do what? You need to manage your waste. It requires temporary storage of refuse on the premise. The individual household or business has responsibility for on-site storage of solid waste. It's one. For individual homes, industries, and other commercial centers, proper on-site storage of solid waste is the beginning of proper disposal, because unkept solid waste or a simple dumps are sources of nuisance, flies, smells, and other hazards. So you need to keep your waste in closed containers so that the room may not smell, will not be smelly. Then we will focus now on collection of waste. And here, under collection of waste, we know that collection include not only the gathering or picking of solid waste from various sources, but also hauling this waste to the disposal site for transfer station and unloading there. Like in KTTC, we've witnessed collection of waste is being done by lorries on Friday. Every Friday, there's a lorry that comes and collects our waste. So that's the process of collection of waste. Then we go to transfer and transportation. Like I've said, that lorry comes, it collects what has been generated in our hostels, in our rooms, and is being transferred to a dump site or the landfill. So transfer and transport refers to the means, facilities used to affect the transfer of waste from one location to another. And then we'll now focus on resource recovery and processing. Up to that point, are we together, class? Or I'm talking to myself? My class. I continue. Any question? All right. And under resource recovery and processing, here is where resource. Yes, you can ask the question. Who is asking the question? Did you hear the question? Who was asking the question?
I think that.
Yes? Elisha?
I'm okay.
You okay? Okay, let's wind up on resource recovery and processing. Resource recovery and processing. Yes? Resource recovery is a partial solid waste disposal and reclamation process. It can be expected to achieve waste reduction in future land volume requirements. Resource recovery must recognize what is worth recovering and the environmental benefit. A resource recovery can also be where resources are turned into valuable energy use. And our last point is disposal. And disposal is most of the organic content after segregation may be subjected to bacterial decomposition with an end product being humus and compost. We note that all those wastes that do not have any value are dumped in the landfill for decomposition. So that will be the last step of waste management, which is disposal. So anyone with any concern or any question before we look at the summary? Do you have any question? If there's no question, the fundamental elements that we've studied today is 5 steps. The first one is generation of solid waste, then we have handling and the storage, then we have collection of solid waste, we have processing and resource recovery, and then we have transfer and transportation, and then final was disposal. Thank you. Unless there is a question, our class comes to an end. Class, anyone with a question? Or I call names?
It is just a comment. Thank you for your time.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate. I'm humble.
I'm saying the lesson was.
Thank you for the comment.
Thank you for your time. You can please share the notes.
I'll share the notes. Thank you. If there's no other comment, I think we shall have another class in our next lesson, in our next week. Thank you, and have yourself a good evening.